what should be my final pass. According to my dial right here, it should bring me out right on the money. Needed 22 thousandths. And now I'm around 22. We'll see how close we are. Probably going to end up being about 1.5 thou, 2 thou over. That's fine. Take us another measurement. And that brings us to 3/8. Wow. 88.5. 3/8, 890, 889. So actually 1 thousandths under. Not bad. So let's just see if our disc will fit in there. No, not quite. Let me get this back up just a little bit more. Not quite. We'll take about another 4 thou off of it. Oh, look at there. Just as snug as a bug in a rug. Perfect. Now the depth of this is 1/2 inch, but the rubber sheet that I will be cutting is only 1/4 inch. That's why I went 3/8 on this. So I'll be cutting 2 of them and then gluing the 2 of them together to work on that, to make that. Now next I'm going to get set up to bring my internal boring bar. I need to sharpen that up just a little bit, and I want to skim just the inside of that bore right there because the shaft that I'm going to be using for my internal cutter does not quite fit in there. So I want just a little bit of play. I don't need a whole lot, just so it slides back and forth. So let me get set up on that and we'll get you back over here. Alright, got my bit. Seems to be pretty good and sharp. Due to my travel right here, I can only go in about 1 to 3/8 inches. But I did discover that there is a taper inside there over 1 inch. It's about 1/1000th of a taper. So the shaft did seem to slide okay on this end, so maybe just taking a thou off of here will satisfy that. So we'll give her a spin and see what happens. this over here out of the way. And see if I can locate my shaft. Well, seem to have lost my shaft. Oh, here it is, right here on the table, right here in front of me. Alright. Not quite. A little snug. I'll go ahead and take another thou off of it, which I don't really think I took a thou off of it that time. Maybe more like a half. So we'll get back with you as we get a little closer. Alright, we took about another 3 thous off of it and made a skim pass or a cleanup pass. We'll try for a fit now. That's pretty good right there at the first little bit. And we'll measure that right there where it stops. Put some mark right there. And let's see, comes out to be about 3/4 of an inch. It goes in 3/4 and then stops. Now I don't know if that's the shaft or whether that's the bore. I'll try the other end of the shaft, which has not been touched up. It could be the shaft. It could be the shaft, because I have not done anything to the shaft other than file a few burrs off the end right there and hit it with some emery cloth. Right there I got plenty of fit, but right up here a little further on the shaft, I'm not real happy with that. You can barely feel where that 3 thou I took off right there. Feel that all the way around, and that's up in there. Should be about 1 3/8. Yeah, that's up in there at least 1 1/4 inches. So I don't think I got issues with my shaft right now. So I'm gonna leave that right now the way it is. Call that good. And go ahead and work on this outside bevel right here, right while I got her lined up. Now we're going to bring that down to a pretty fine edge, but I might leave just a trace visible there so it has some edge to it. And I'm not sure what angle I'm going to take here, but I'm going to leave, should be pretty steep. I'm going to leave as much out here on the end as I can for a good cutting edge. So we'll get turned around and get set up for that. Okay, I got my compound slide set up at 10 degrees from the face of this. So I'll be cutting a bevel or taper, whatever you want to call it, right along here. Okay, I was getting ready to show you how I was getting set up to make this bevel right here, and my battery died on me since I don't have a spare battery and it's a rechargeable type. It took several hours to charge the battery, so I didn't want to stand still for it. I went ahead and did it. So what I've done is I set my compound at 20 degrees. I started out at 10 and then 10 was going too far back, so I changed it to 20, and 20 comes back to just slightly more than 3/8 inch, probably about a 1/2 inch back. And I turned that until I got her down to, I don't want to say a razor's edge. If you look at it, you might see maybe 2/1000 edge, right around there, and that's fine for me, I think, right now. Going through that hard rubber. I don't want a razor's edge on there. I want to leave a little bit of proudness to it. So we'll see how that works. So anyhow, this part here is pretty good. Then I went ahead and chucked up my shaft, or the part that's going to go on the inside, the cutter on the inside, and I dialed it in, and I cleaned up this back edge over here so that that would fit through the bore real nice and pretty. And then I flipped it around and I did this side, and there's a part right there. There's only, you can barely feel a little bit of change right there, not a whole lot, but like I say, this isn't critical. So now the inner shaft goes through the hub real nice, and I went ahead and started boring out the cutter section right here. Now this is going to cut out a 1 1/4 plug out of the center of the rubber piece. It'll be this center piece right here. So I'm going to bring that out to 1 1/4 and then taper that off also. So I cut a nice 1 1/4 plug out of there. So that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. Got my battery back up charged, so we'll continue on with it. I've got her about 30. I got to go about 30 more thousandths wider on this diameter right here, but I still got to go in quite a ways. I got to take her down to 3/8, and I'm probably maybe an 1/8 right there. So we'll get back with you as soon as we get that down a little closer.